everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Diana. I'm a registered dietitian. I'm also a certified diabetes educator, and I have my master's in nutrition science. And I've been working with people who have pre and type 2 diabetes for over 5 years now in many different settings. So in the hospital, in outpatient, private practice, you name it, I've done it. So I'm really excited to share some of the secrets and some of the hacks that I've learned along the way. So today I want to chat with you about 5 quick hacks that you can implement into your daily life to help you have more control over your glucose levels, over your blood sugar levels. And you may be pretty surprised by the 5th one. It's a little bit odd, but it has a lot of great research behind it. So let's just jump right in and get started. Okay, so hack number 1 is to move at least 10 minutes after your meals. So you don't have to do this after every single meal, but if you are experiencing higher levels of blood sugar, if you're experiencing a spike after a meal, one of the most effective ways to bring that spike back down is to get moving, to move your muscles. And why this works is because our muscles actually use glucose for energy. So if you are experiencing those blood sugar spikes after a meal, getting your muscles active is going to help bring them down. Your muscles are going to start turning to your blood and take some of that glucose out of your blood and use it for energy. And this can be any sort of movement. You can walk, you can dance, clean up your house, do the dishes, vacuum, walk up and down the stairs, or anything else that will just get your muscles active and get them moving. And you need about 10 minutes to see results. So after 10 minutes, you'll start seeing these levels to come down. So if you can do more, that's even better, but 10 minutes should be your minimum. So hack number 2 is to eat your veggies first during a meal. So when you eat your vegetables, which are very low in carbohydrates and very high in fiber and other really great nutrients, when you eat them at the beginning of the meal, they actually can help slow down the absorption of glucose from the rest of your meal. So how can you do this? Well, you could just have an appetizer as a salad. It's very commonly done. Or if you're having veggies on the side of your meal, just have those first. Having your veggies first will result in a much smaller blood sugar spike, and it'll result in fewer craving and crashes throughout the day. So try this out and see if it works for you. The 3rd hack is to have your sweets at the end of a meal. So you have your veggies first, and if you're having something sweet, have it at the end. So let's say you want something really sweet, like a cookie. We're all human, and sometimes we want a dessert, and that's completely fine. But the best way to lower your blood sugar spikes after eating something sweet is to have it at the end of the meal and not on an empty stomach. So if you have it on an empty stomach, you don't really have anything to buffer that blood sugar spike. What will happen is it'll start just a blood sugar roller coaster that may actually make you crave even more sweets. So don't have it on an empty stomach. Instead, make sure you eat first and then have it as your dessert. Of course, this is not a pass to have sweets all the time. Sweets should still be treated as treats. So you have your everyday foods and your once in a while foods. And sweets, like desserts, should be kept to every once in a while. They should be those treats. So hack number 4 is to sleep 7 to 9 hours every night. Sleep is just so important to help our body regulate our blood sugar levels. When we don't sleep well, our blood sugar spikes are much bigger for the same exact food. So for example, you can see here that having papaya after a really good night's sleep will result in a normal blood sugar response. However, that same exact person, if they didn't sleep well and they ate the same exact papaya at the same exact time, just by not sleeping well, look at this, it can result in a much higher glucose spike. So it is very important to sleep well, because a lack of sleep will really affect your glucose levels. And there's quite a lot of studies that show that a lack of sleep leads to much higher sugar levels the next day. And not only does it affect glucose, but it really can affect our hormones, especially our hunger and satiety hormones. So if you don't sleep well, the next day you may be experiencing more hunger than usual just because you didn't sleep well. And you may not feel as full after eating a meal. And that's all because of not sleeping enough. And then just not sleeping well consistently can lead to worsening of glucose control, insulin resistance, weight gain, and increased food intake. So it is just so, so important to get enough sleep every night. If you have trouble falling asleep at night, try to start winding down an hour before and limit your screen use. So don't look at your phone, don't look at your laptop. This can actually help your body start to wind down and get ready for sleep. And if you have trouble falling asleep, maybe put on a meditation or a sleep story, and that can help drift you off. Also, reading a book is a great way to prep your body for sleep. Okay, so for the fifth hack, add vinegar to your meals. Yes, you heard that correctly, vinegar. So I know this sounds a little bit odd, but having a tablespoon of vinegar before a meal can actually cut your glucose and insulin spikes by 20%. So if you're having a meal and you have some vinegar before, it can actually reduce those spikes by 20%. As you can see here, there's quite a bit of evidence. So these are reviews and meta-analysis. So what these studies do is they look at a ton of other studies and then they have a conclusion. And both of these studies showed that, yes, in fact, vinegar, for some reason, actually helps lower our glucose and insulin spikes after a meal. And it doesn't have to be apple cider vinegar, I put that there, but it can be any sort of vinegar. You can choose whichever one you want. So what you could do is you could dilute a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in a glass of water. I don't recommend having it on its own. You should definitely dilute apple cider vinegar. Or if you don't want to drink it, which is completely understandable, you can have it as a salad dressing. So you could have some balsamic vinegar on your salad. You can add that to your meals. So if you wanted to combine this with hack number 2, which is have your veggies first, you could have a salad as an appetizer with balsamic vinegar, and you may see an even greater effect in your blood sugar levels. So there you have it, 5 hacks to lower your blood sugar. Move for at least 10 minutes after your meals. Choose whichever movement you want. The most important thing is just to get your muscles moving. Eat your veggies first when you have a meal. Have your sweets or dessert at the end of the meal instead of on an empty stomach. Try to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. And lastly, add vinegar to your meals. So do you do any of these hacks? Which ones would you try? Let us know.